Hola, ¿qué tal, mi gente? Welcome to a new episode of Bold by Design. This is the conversation that you all are waiting for. I'm honored to have an incredible guest today with me. She represents everything that us ladies want to become. So I'm excited to have Daniela Santangelo here in my episode today, and I'm gonna let her tell us who she is, who she represents, what she does, and hopefully you can also get inspired and hopefully get hands-on business. Thank you, Daniela, for being here, making the time. I'm so happy to have you on board.
Thanks for having me.
Yay! Let's jump right into questions here. If you were to kind of like introduce yourself to this audience that is either listening or watching, beyond your titles, tell us who you are.
Yeah, so I would say I am born from an Italian immigrant family. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. I'm a connector, I'm a builder. I love to bring people together who might not know how to otherwise meet. I like to create pathways to make more opportunity and access possible. I know firsthand what it takes to rebuild from scratch. So I'm really here to help founders, dreamers, innovators, community builders realize that they don't have to do it alone, that we're stronger together.
I love that concept, helping others and, kind of connecting. I love that concept. How did you do that? Tell us about your initiative, the company that you are the founder of. We all want to hear what is all this about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a second-time founder. I run an organization now called Freeway Phoenix. It's freewayphx.com. And really, the organization was born out of the community. So when I moved back to Phoenix in 2023, I sat with a lot of founders, investors, ecosystem builders, and I heard a common theme. And it was like, we don't have this, we don't have that, we need more access to that. It's like we need a new Freeway. So literally, Freeway was born out of the community. I'm here just to hold space to activate and amplify all the great talent that we have here locally and help to demystify what it's like to build, live, and scale in Phoenix. So we're really focused on talent, capital, and community. We throw tech talent summits 2 times a year, which is like a modern career fair. Our next one is in November. So that's what we do.
Tell me a little bit more about the summit. I know it's coming up. If you guys are listening right now, we're kind of like at the end of September. November is right up on the corner.
Yes.
Wow, like 2025 is flying by. Crazy that we're already talking about November. So tell me about that. What exactly are you guys putting together? Who is invited to that? It's anyone like open to attend? Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be our 4th Tech Talent Summit. We've thrown 3 in the past 2 years. We do them in the spring and the fall. All have been sold out, which is really a testament to the pent-up demand that we see in market, which is people want to get back in the room to just in person meet startups who are building and growing and seeing how they can help fuel that success. So November 6th and 7th at the WebPT building downtown Phoenix. We're hoping to have over 700 people. We had 500 last year. We really think we can get to 700. Who's invited is anyone locally who's in the startup ecosystem, the tech ecosystem, and also outside of Arizona and outside of our country. Anyone who is interested in what's happening in the Southwest from an innovation standpoint, software, defense tech, health tech, AI. This is where you're going to see a lot of the top companies showcased. Ones that are hiring, ones that have products and services that can really be amplified to the world. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing event. 2 days. Day 1 is going to be talent focused. Day 2 is going to be capital focused. We're going to have Startup World Cup Arizona pitch competition happening. And any winner that comes out of that regional event will get a chance to pitch next year in San Francisco for a chance to win $1 million.
Wow, this event sounds huge. Great opportunity, I guess, for the talent out there. I am so curious though. We always cheer when, we see events, we see founders, we see entrepreneurs like really winning out there. I think you are totally killing it out there. But if we go back a little bit, like what is it, the one thing that we don't really see? People, the behind the scenes doesn't always get public. How does it feel to be, a founder, a mom, a woman in business? One of the things for Bold by Design is definitely an open space for us ladies. I feel like I feel so strongly about this. There's so much talent out there, and not as many spaces open for us to
Yeah.
talk about, like, initiative, ideas, what can we do, how can we contribute. And so I wanna like hear from you. How is that experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, ladies, we got a lot of work to do. The system is broken. It's not set up for us having the platforms where we can excel and grow, right? We are treated differently. We are asked different questions from investors. Like, all of that is real. We're only getting 2% of venture capital, but we operate the most profitable and efficient companies. That makes zero sense, right? So what does that mean? We have to bridge that gap with, I believe, the soft skills and the hard skills that are necessary to really make these bold moves. I was living a life just a few years ago that was, I would say, dream state of the yachts and the co-founder of a Series B tech company and traveling the world and having international customers and all of these things. In May of 2022, my life changed. I was living in Miami at the time. The co-founder of my company was a CEO. We had divorced in early May, and then 3 weeks later, he terminated from the company along with our chief of staff, and I get pushed out of the company 3 weeks later. I became a single mom overnight with my boys 3 and 5. I had to get a court-approved relocation back to Arizona. Why do I share this? I share this because we need to have more transparency when it comes to startup building. The vanity of exits and liquidity, guess what? That's not happening the majority of the time. The majority of the time you're failing, you're having a VC hostile takeover. There's things that are happening, right? And the biggest learning for me has been to trust your intuition. Right? And there's signs, there's indicators in our body, in our being, of that things are not going right, and we have to use our voice and amplify our voice to get ourselves out of these stuck and toxic situations in the workplace and in relationships. And when you do that, truth will set you free. And that's what I'm living right now, is spiritual freedom on a level that I haven't had before, to build, to design my life for my children and I, and to create something sustainable. I think there's a lot of toxic culture in the VC world still, and you have a choice. You can play in that game or you can do something different. And I'm really trying to bring love and community to the center of it all. Raised from an Italian immigrant family, my grandfather came over here with 30 cents in his pocket. He was the OG incubator in my world, where he hired immigrants who then spun out and created their own businesses. So I'm really here to just carry that legacy and carry that purpose on, but to do it in a way that's sustainable and that will actually create a legacy for your children, not these hype machines that will get you to living a life that you're eventually going to burn out from.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for, getting so personal. It takes a ton to, be full on emotional and, like, share real life experience, what happens with you. So thank you so much for allowing this space to be that for you. And then I just love the idea, I'm an immigrant. So, like, if anything, I understand that so much. It's just talking about that. How does it feel, like the culture barrier? Because I mean, first step, we're women in business trying to make something out of nothing. Second of all is the culture barriers. Like, how do you feel about that? Have you overcome any barriers? Do you feel like doesn't necessarily, relates to you? I mean, I feel like every story is different, especially when it comes to, different cultures. So I'm not expecting really anyone to face the same story. So how has been for you on that specific point?
I mean, I think throughout the years, like your 20s, you're hardly figuring it out. Your 30s, you're getting like a little bit wiser. I'm now in my 40th decade here. And I feel like the biggest learning is just own who you are. The longer we take to actually own our own, our unique narrative, the longer it's going to take you to realize your success and your path, right? And like, we have to hold true our unique 1% that no one can take from you. There's a lot of things that people can take from you. They can't take what is uniquely you, where, on a soul level, like what you're here to accomplish. So I just encourage so many people to do the internal work that allows you to feel good about what you're doing every day. Like, if it's not a full body yes, it's a no. And I just feel like I've gotten to a place where I've become more selective on who I want to work with. And it's been able to allow this like organic attraction of partners and sponsors and volunteers and team members that we're having fun building. And again, it's a choice, right? It's the road less traveled that we've chosen as entrepreneurs, but it's a choice to have it feel like it's something really heavy, or that you're grateful that you get a chance to have financial freedom in how you want to design your life.
I love the financial freedom part. I think, we're living in, I keep saying this, I feel like in every single episode that I record for Bold by Design, it's this whole glorifying the hustle. And I think it's not healthy. It's really not healthy. There are ways to, do what you love doing without like overkilling yourself. And obviously there is also this glorification on perfection. I feel like social media allows that a lot, where, a lot of people are painting a whole different reality through the lens of social media. You have what we call influencers out there that are like, I'm doing all these things in 24 hours, and this is my day, and this is how it looks like. So how is that reality resonates with you? How do you feel like, how do you keep yourself grounded without, comparing yourself maybe through the lens of social media, or maybe through the lens of another founder or entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's a really hard question. I'm transparent here with you and your audience. I'm also very transparent with my kids. Like, I tell them that I'm addicted to this machine in my hand, as many of us are, right? And I think it's important for us to acknowledge the fact that social media has purposely created it to be that dopamine hit that we keep going back to. And the real challenge is, how do we find that level of satisfaction within ourselves? How can we sit still and look at ourselves in the mirror and be happy with what we see, and not have to externally seek it? So for me, how I keep myself grounded, one, I have to move my body. Like, I'm either on my Peloton or I'm weight training, and my kids need to see, like, me as a warrior, what I'm doing to be able to sustain the life that we're living. Two is like tech detoxes. I do it. I tell my kids I'm putting the phone on the refrigerator and I'm not looking at it for 2 days. And we do that. And there's a cleansing that comes with it, right? It really allows you to go back to just your internal being and what you're here to do. It's very, very challenging. I'm not saying that this is easy, but all the external factors, the exits, the liquidity, all this stuff is so attractive. It's not reality, right? It's a small percentage. And I'm of this mindset these days where, how do you create something where business success and positive well-being can coexist? That it's not a one or the other, that it's both. So that's the lens and the challenge for myself that I'm on right now.
Totally love that statement. Oh my gosh, I feel like it hit hard. It felt like home. Something that you've been mentioning in every, single part of our conversation is, I feel like you are trying to make your life be meaningful, not only for you, but for whoever that is around you. And it seems that a lot comes from your values, what you believe in. And I'm curious to know, like, do you feel like faith, or, where is your like positivity coming from? I mean, obviously, I feel like as we age, we, start getting a little more experience, and experience not only give us gray hairs, but, it gives us like the opportunity for us to explore, what do we really want to be doing? What's the purpose of our life? And, it's almost like you fell 7 times, you kind of like lift yourself for 8th time, or as many times that you need to do that. How do you feel like faith or your beliefs and values contribute to your own perspective at this very moment of your life?
We're going to go there. Let's go there. Okay. It's my ancestors. So I really feel a deep connection to the patriarchs and the matriarchs in my family, and I feel very clear on why I'm here. There hasn't been a millionaire in my family. I've seen a lot of like unhappiness from females in my family where like they had to do it all because that's what they believed. They had to cook and clean and be the housewife and this and that. And I'm here to break that lineage and knowing that there's more. And not that what they did was wrong. What they did brought me to where I am. And they are now my angels, my supporters who are propelling me every day. I truly believe that. My grandfather passed away 2 years ago at the stroke of midnight on Christmas Day. So he is a divinely connected human. And I get my strength from him. I get my strength from knowing that the immigrants that came over from Italy on a boat and the hatred and the oppression that they felt coming over gave me the freedom and the sacrifices and the responsibility that I have to do something bigger and to do something different. And I'll share this too. I had an ayahuasca experience earlier this year in Tulum, and I was able to connect on that level to really feel what they were feeling during those times, to validate why I'm doing this. And to know that I have the protection from my community of friends, family here and from the past. So, I mean, that's the honest truth. It's definitely messy. I wake up some days like ready to go, and I wake up other days like, how am I going to do this? But keep coming back to center and knowing that you have that level of support I'm just trusting in it. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I'm showing up every day.
I kind of like, as I'm listening to you, I'm really listening. That connection, I can perceive that connection that you are definitely clearly talking about. It's, for many of us, I think we're very much family oriented. I'm talking about like the immigrant community. I mean, I think we have faced many challenges that not everyone is aware of. And in our, different phases and years, those challenges are different for every generation, for sure. So like having that connection, it's definitely, it feels powerful. And I truly enjoy listening to this. I think people can connect to this. And from where I'm standing, like faith or beliefs are very different from one person to another. But I do think that any person should have, like a purpose, something that keeps them centered, that brings them back to earth, whether it is, your belief or, Christianity or whatever that may be, because beliefs and values are very different from one person to another. So I love that you're sharing that. I love that you feel so connected to your ancestors. I don't know, I don't have anything else to say on that. It feels powerful, and I love that you're being open about it, that you're exploring that. Now if we transition a little bit to being a mom. I mean, I'm a mom myself. I have 2 kids, beautiful kids. Mine are 8 and 4. Double the trouble, I like to call it. It's a beautiful trouble. But when we're trying to create this other phase or facets of the women version, we're trying to create something that is, career-wise oriented. There is a version of us. We need to be a specific version. You're a founder entrepreneur. How is it to balance that with motherhood? I mean, you kind of like mentioned it a little bit at the beginning, but I want to kind of like explore that a little bit more. Because with kids, there are other challenges, and you have 2 boys, I believe. So they definitely look up to us. Why mom is doing this? Why mommy maybe is doing that? Am I supposed to? So how you manage that?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So my boys are 6 and 8, Rocco and Nino, and they love that their mommy is her own boss. They absolutely love that. And I think that's going to play a huge role in what they, decide to do for their profession. The biggest thing and what's so important right now is just that for me to be present for them. That's it, right? Is like in the morning, in the evenings, just be present. it's easier said than done. I'm a visionary, I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm constantly like firing. So it is a daily challenge for me to be present, but my boys are very active, and from playing baseball to riding bikes to hanging out with our new puppy, I feel like we really have a great balance, and I feel super blessed that we've been able to create this life that we have right now.
I always get like, I have moments where I'm doing this, where my kids are around, and I will close the door of my office and I will tell them right before I record, hey, I need 45 minutes for you guys to like knock in my door. Mommy is recording. And then after I'm done, I will open the door. They'll come in. And my youngest will always do this thing that he will grab the microphone and he will start podcasting his own, vision of whatever the podcasting is. And
Great.
it's very interesting because I get a lot of, other women that in a sense, they're like, how do you do it? Like, we're working full time, you're doing your own things, trying to like create a community. Like, how is that? How do you fit everything? And I always like to say, I'm not trying to fit everything. I have made peace with the fact that I have good days, bad days, messy days, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay like saying, you know what? I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm gonna pause this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have my energy for this or that. But at the beginning, it wasn't like that. At the beginning, I think, like we have been talking about, it's this whole sense of, I guess it's a cultural perception where I felt I needed it to be everything for everyone at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so harsh. It was like I was having conversations that was my very unhappy self.
Yeah.
And I felt like, hold on, what is it that I'm doing wrong? And do you ever feel that way? Have you ever had those moments where you have been like, I need a minute, maybe 2 days, 3 days. I just need to unplug, disconnect. How did you deal when you feel overwhelmed? Because life is overwhelmed. Sometimes, it's great. Other times, not that great.
Yeah, 100%. I am not perfect. I am just trying to create a safe space for my children to also not be perfect. And there's moments where I say things that I have to come back to, right? And explain to them of why I said it, because I was tired, because I was hungry, right? There's certain reasons why our nervous system kind of reacts the way that it does. And I've had to ask for space. My mom lives down the street. I'm so grateful that she's part of my village to help me raise my boys. She has a pool there, so we're there very often. And I remember a recent time where I just wanted to do some laps. I just needed some space to and they wanted to jump on me and they wanted to do these things. And it was hard for them to understand that I just needed to do like 10 laps, please, so I can ground myself again. And it's hard for kids to understand that, and they're 6 and 8, and like, it doesn't really make sense. So I think that was an opportunity for me of like, okay, there's probably a different time for you to do your laps, Daniela. Like, just play with the kids and be in the pool and do your thing. So it's a daily challenge, and I'm humbled by, I believe, what they're getting this level of emotional intelligence, which is like, I'm never going to be that parent that's like, in this, right? I'm going to always come back and explain myself of why certain things were said or happened, right? So that they know that like, we're human, we're in this human experience together, and it's not from a place of perfection. It's a place from like the human conditioning of struggle and how we can overcome that in a way. But again, with ourself being like the grounding factor that allows us to go back to a place of safety and peace. So that's really what I promote in my household.
How beautiful it is to be raising boys, the new generation. We are, breaking patterns in every aspects of our lives, and also raising a new generation of men. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I kind of like, I'm trying to be on your own shoes. I feel like I relate to you in so many things because I'm raising also 2 boys, and sometimes I like to jump into my head and like go 20 years in the future, and imagine how they will be as a grown up man. And I think, it's my hope is that they see that they have a mom that is creative, that she's doing what she loves doing, that she needs a space, that she's not perfect, that she, deserves love and patient and kind. And my hope is that they can, whoever their partners will be in the future, get that amount of respect and love and space. And I think we're living in a very beautiful time right now. The new generation is going to be very interesting, and I have so much hope for that.
I totally agree. I always pictured myself with having girls for some reason, and I know why God gave me boys. So I'm happy to raise the next generation of men that will be more evolved and more grounded and just hopefully do some great things in the world.
I pray for that. Amen. Well, we're kind of like getting to the end of the conversation, but I do always like to ask one final question that it's like completely off guard, and that's the intention behind that question. Is if you were to say anything right now for our audience, whoever is listening, women in there trying to grow their business, or women out there trying to take the leap and jump with no safeguard and do what they love doing, what would you say to them?
Take the jump. Don't wait until you feel ready. You're never going to feel fully ready. Start messy. Get clarity through action. Keep iterating, right? Businesses, communities, they're all living things. So we have to go through feedback, mistakes, new ideas. And then most importantly, I think, is authenticity. So people are going to remember how you made them feel, what your personal narrative is, what your story is, more than a pitch deck. So just get to a place where you can get your work to be aligned with who you really are. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you can realize success and I think happiness in business. Impact's going to follow. Don't figure out the how. It's going to be messy. Just start now. Who cares about what people think? You're thinking about them more than they're thinking about you. So just go. Just go.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This conversation has been eye-opening, and I really appreciate that you make the time. And, it's an honor to have another woman on my podcast. My previous episode was also women. And I feel like that's my calling. That's my purpose. I really want to use this space to highlight young people that has done incredible things, and to highlight women in business, because there are, plenty of us with plenty of talents out there, and we deserve the love and the spaces for us to share our stories, and hopefully other people will get inspired too. Thank you again for being with us. And for anyone out there that is listening or watching Bold by Design, please subscribe, leave us a comment. I will drop all the contact information from Daniela here in the comments, so you guys can go follow her and support their story, support what she's doing through Freeway Phoenix. And please go enjoy. Peace out. Until next time.